Hello everyone and welcome to another Top 5 Records video. And today I'm going to start a new series in which I'm taking a closer look at the full discography of Led Zeppelin. And today I'm going to start by talking about their first album, titled Led Zeppelin. Now, this was made at a very interesting moment in time because the band members of Led Zeppelin were not newcomers to the scene. Although this is their first album, you can actually see in the Beatles documentary series Get Back about the making of the Let It Be album that at a certain moment, I believe it's George Harrison who is holding this record in his hands. And they're talking like, that Jimmy Page just got a new record out. Really? Yeah, it's good. It's actually really good. They all knew Jimmy Page, and most of them knew also John Paul Jones and John Bonham because they were regulars in the studio scene. As a matter of fact, the Beatles had just worked for the White Album, and they were friends of Donovan, and Donovan recorded Hurdy Gurdy Man with Jimmy Page, John Paul Jones, and John Bonham as a band, with Robert Plant, of course, being absent. Lovely song, Hurdy Gurdy Man. Now, especially Jimmy Page was a guitar whiz kid, being present at a lot of legendary recordings. So his name was big. He was in the Yardbirds, but all the Yardbirds members left. So he was left alone with the name the Yardbirds. So he formed the new Yardbirds. And as a matter of fact, before Led Zeppelin was called Led Zeppelin, they did, I believe, at least one gig, but perhaps even more, under the name of the new Yardbirds. Honestly, I think there is an incredible difference between the Yardbirds and Led Zeppelin because although both are blues rock, Led Zeppelin and this record takes everything from before 1969 on the scale of blues to a whole new level. Blues rock on this album becomes hard rock, though the three chord structure is so there. It's like blues hard rock. Because thinking of hard rock, I'm actually most often thinking more about the later records of Led Zeppelin, Deep Purple, The Who, Queen albums. Yet, something is so bizarrely distinctive, new, and fresh here. And whenever I play it, just before recording this video, I played this album again, and I thought, damn, while listening to the shrieking, the screams, but they are so controlled, the screams of Robert Plant, and I was thinking, man, must have been impressive to hear it back in the day. I think it doesn't matter because it's still just as impressive as it is now. I don't know how it was back in the day. Would I've even accepted it because it's so outrageously new? I'm not sure if I would have been able to recognize it in those days. I hope so, because this is just a punch in the guts. It is the most lovable, beautiful, fresh album. It's growing and growing to me personally, because when I started listening to Led Zeppelin, I actually started listening to Led Zeppelin 4. I got that on a CD. I got a CD of Presence. I was listening a lot to Achilles' Last Stand. So I was very much more into the later 70s vibe. And I thought, yeah, late 60s album. Okay, it just didn't click with me. But now, listening to so many different pressings of this album, and I've done a video in which I've compared the classic records pressing, the Red Plum pressing, the George Piros pressing. I'm holding the George Piros pressing right now. So take a look at that video if you're curious about finding the best sounding version of this album. The thing is, for the last couple of years, when friends of mine come over and we're having a beer and an evening of vinyl, this is a recurring album. Side 1 opens with Good Times, Bad Times. It is just so vibrant, so electrifyingly energetic. Every single element here. I mean, four of these musicians. I mean, John Bonham is all over the place and tight. I love that when drums is so. Jimmy Page, there are moments when he just pulls out his guitar and starts soloing, and it's just as if this wildness is released into the song. John Paul Jones, I mean, both his bass and his organ, the organ here, especially on Your Time Is Gonna Come, it's mouth-wateringly good. And then Robert Plant. Robert Plant. I mean, again, there's a wildness. The way he sings, the way he, I think at this point in history, he is the first white vocalist that has the blues in him. But he's not looking for the blues in the low frequency, in the element of having been there, or in the element of having seen stuff, in the element of having had a hard day's work, of having a tough time to cope with. He doesn't look for the blues in there. His blues is a wild, liberating young man scream, but a controlled scream. I mean, he screams better than Little Richard, and that's saying for something. It's, I mean, looking at him, I'm just jealous. I'm a vocalist. It's second track on side one is "Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You." It's the way the guitar builds, and then the way Robert Plant just, I don't think it's a manual fade. I think he basically fades his vocal in, because you can hear the intention is moving from babe, 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 I'm gonna leave you. It's, there's so much control, and he has such a brilliant vision of the way his vocals are used. And then when he goes out to calling me beware, those, it's just the dynamic range of his powerful voice is just so stunning. And from that, going to You Shook Me. I mean, Willie Dixon song, the You shook me all night long. The way he stretches the vocal like it's a guitar string bending, it's just so mesmerizingly good. Going to Dazed and Confused, another epic strike of brilliance. I've been dazed and confused for so long. It's this record, this album, then side two, Your Time Is Gonna Come, which is, I mean, the harmony there, the powerful, you hear a lot of what hard rock is gonna sound like here. The first side is a lot more heavy blues rock, and then Your Time Is Gonna Come. It's got a lot to do with the organ as well. Black Mountain side, communication breakdown. It's always the same. It's so sharp, biting. I Can't Quit You, Baby. Another Willie Dixon song. And ending it off with How Many More Times. Oh, this record. I love it. This is gonna be a very tough ranking when I get to the end of these videos. Ranking these records. I already regret the top 5 video I did. This is an album you feel in the entirety of your body. It's one of those moments in which music history was changed for good. I love it. So I'm curious, what do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Leave a comment below, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.